up around Highway 270. So we're starting to get the tail end of it here.
All right. What kind of damage have you had reports of, and what kind of calls are you answering in Jefferson County right now around Pacific?
Well, actually, we're getting very little right now. People are pulling off roads, so right now we're getting very little of nothing other than maybe a few alarm calls here and there. But it seems like everybody's battening down the hatch right now, so we're just writing this thing out.
So you get a lot of car alarms or home burglar alarms that go off, and maybe fire alarms because of the lightning and the...
Correct. When you have a disturbance like that in the atmosphere, it messes with everything from your TV set to your home alarm system.
And I imagine those kinds of calls are not priorities for you right now. You're looking at potential rescues and things like that.
Sure. We prioritize everything, but yeah, we're on top of all that. If you have an alarm going off your house, we're coming.
All right, Chief, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I know it's going to be a long, busy night there in Pacific and throughout our viewing area as we deal with these very, very dangerous storms. Thanks, Chief. That was a chief of police who I never got his name. I apologize for that, Chief.
Got another damage report for you.
All right.
This is in Maryland Heights. Amateur radio operator there reporting wind damage. Power lines and trees down at Creve Coeur Mill and Pritchard Farm Road.
All right.
That's in Maryland Heights.
So, keep in mind that we've had reports of this thing, of damage from this thing, right, Matt, that started in the western portions of our viewing area, and if I recall, it was Gasconade County.
We had large hail reports in Gasconade County, even larger hail reports in Montgomery County, and then we really started getting into some more damage reports around New Melly when, when the spin seemed to become a little bit tighter. Could have been a brief touchdown there, and maybe possibly a brief touchdown in Warrenton, we were told by some train spotters. Now it seems like and maybe it's a factor of a population density, maybe it's a factor of the issue of this storm encountering more structures, but it seems like suddenly within the last 15-20 minutes we're getting a lot more structural damage reports.
All right, so we've got this Trail of Tears that starts to the west in St. Charles County, and a significant and consistent path of damage that rolls into western portions and northwestern portions of St. Louis County into the Maryland Heights area. So that's why we say, we draw these circles, show you the two storms and the primary areas where we think we have tornadoes, probably do, still on the ground, and why we say everybody that's in the path of either one of these storms needs to take cover. We're not talking, this is not a joke, this is not a drill, it's not one of those things that, oh, they're doing it again, they're crying wolf, they're talking about tornadoes and that, you know, nothing ever comes of these deals. It's happening, all right? You saw a live video of a damaged home here on News 4 a short time ago. We've had...
A tornado is being reported by Lambert Airport observations.
Okay.
Tornado by Lambert.
What that means is there's a certified weather observer on duty at Lambert International all the time, so that they can keep track of the weather to get planes in and out of Lambert safely. That trained observer, who has a wealth of experience and training behind him or her, is observing a tornado. Is that what they're saying?
That's what it says.
They are observing a tornado from the airport. Now, we've got an airport camera that hopefully we can pop that up. Okay, we lost that in the lightning, which happens quite a bit. But, and you're circling what there, Matt?
That small circle should be a rough idea of where Lambert International Airport is, just west of 170, north of Interstate 70. And this circle sort of indicates that broader area of rotation, which could be dropping a tornado right now.
Well, and we think that likely the tornado is probably up in this area somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's moving to the east. And the reason I talk about this, I call it a Trail of Tears, is this path of destruction that this thing has caused is it's doing this. This is happening. It's real time, and everybody who's in the path of this thing, I don't mean to be overly alarming, but at the same time, I want to make sure you understand, this is not a typical strong thunderstorm. This is a tornadic. There's a tornado on the ground, and it's causing damage, and it could be deadly. It is a very dangerous storm, and it's tracking right along 270. This is the northern portions of St. Louis County. This is Highway 270, where it's east and west. Here's Pontoon Beach as we cross over to Illinois. Here's Florissant and Blackjack and Bell Fountain neighbors to the west. Here's all of the areas that are going to be impacted by this storm over the next few minutes. Ferguson, right on top of you. Delwood in a couple of minutes. Spanish Lake in 9 minutes. Crossing the river into across Route 3 into Granite City in about 15 minutes or so. There's a view downtown right now, and you can see some of the heavy rain that's falling at around Busch Stadium. And Maggie Crane is downtown, I believe, and can give us a little live report on what the conditions are in the city.
Few times just within the minutes, and still Cardinals fans are hanging out, hoping that the game against the Reds doesn't get called for blue tonight, that they're going to actually get to see a little bit of a game. So the people around here saying,
Some hail downtown. I'm so glad that we don't have to deal with a strong tornado rolling right over the top of Busch Stadium right now. That's the good news. That doesn't mean that we're not very concerned about what's happening in Spanish Lake right now along and just south of 270. This will be moving over across Route 3 and into Granite City before too much longer. While our southern storm is in northern Jefferson County, it's also moving off to the east. Maybe a little bit more of a northeasterly track to that one, but we'll keep you posted on the movement of that one. Kristen?
This is the official report from Lambert now. So in Bridgeton, an observer at St. Louis International, Lambert International, reports a tornado at Lambert Field moving to the east. And here's a continuation on that warning. Damaging tornado moving through northern St. Louis County towards the north part of the city.
Apparently this was a trained weather observer up in the tower at Lambert International Airport. Kent,
right there.
You know, you've been at this for a while. Kristen and I have been at this for a while. Have you ever heard of an observer control tower?
But I've also, well, maybe a couple times. I mean, this thing almost rolled right over the top of the National Weather Service office in Weldon Spring, and then it rolled right over the top, almost right over the top of the airport. It certainly, I wouldn't say it's unprecedented, but man, talk about getting some good observations.
They're talking about that debris ball again that they're seeing on radar.
Yeah.
Debris ball evident in radar data just east of Ferguson.
Okay.
They're saying very strong circulation 1 mile east of Ferguson right now.
All right, so Riverview and points east, tracking just to the south of I-270, Interstate 270 here, right, that's where we are in northern St. Louis County. This thing's been moving almost due east. I mean, remarkably consistent with a due east travel just to the south of 270. So everybody in that Berkeley area, east of the airport, Riverview, Ferguson,
you're about 10 to 15 minutes away. Kinswick, 12 minutes. Oakville, 16 minutes. It's important to note, and I'm going to bring this up a lot as we track these storms. We might give you an estimated time of arrival for your city, and then you're sitting at home and you think, well, it's already raining here. Well, we're not necessarily tracking the rain. We're tracking the more dangerous part of the storm system. In this particular storm in northern Jefferson County, the part of the storm that could produce a tornado.
for instance, this area right here is what we're concerned about, but obviously you're already getting rain all out of here, heavy rain, maybe even some hail. So when we do these tracks, we want to focus our attention on the most dangerous part of the storm, and that's what we've been doing. I want to back out just because we don't want to forget about these storms down to the south. We haven't had a chance to get a look at these very good recently, but they don't seem to be a big concern for us in our viewing area right now.
Reynolds County's in much better shape. We'll keep an eye on that storm down in Dent County, but that's still just south of our coverage area.
Right. Okay, so let's reset the coverage here.
Brand new tornado warning.
Yeah, that's an extension of the southern storms moving off into the Illinois counties
Jefferson, St. Louis County, Monroe, and St. Clair. This
And
is
I live
located near
there.
House Springs or near Antonia, moving east at 50.
Right there.
Right there. So this is the storm. It's going to move south of Oakville.